Welcome back to my whiskey pick of the week. You know, I'm Eric the Whiskey Guy, and as always, as usual, and as advertised, am I bringing you a treat this week? This week we are going for the first time to Memphis, Tennessee, and we're gonna be trying the Blue Note Crossroads, home of the original R&B, the Delta Blues, the the Muddy Waters, the Lil Walters, the Wolfman, Etta James. We going to where I'm sure they was sipping on this when they were going from club to club, bar to bar, on the road, the Crossroads. Now, I'm not really going to go too much into the blues Crossroads, but if you know, you know. So when I first seen it, it was kind of like, could I get it? I shouldn't get it. Let me get it. I shouldn't get it. But I finally pulled the trigger and got it. Now, I'm kind of familiar with the Blue Note brand. I had the jukebox whiskey probably back in 2020, and I loved it. I loved it so much that that's the only bottle since then that I've saved. When I originally started my bar, I had empty bottles and I thought it was tacky. I was like, man, I gotta get full bottles on there. And I was just throwing away bottles, and I got to that one, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna save this one. So that's the only bottle that I saved, and the reason why I saved it is, now the brand is only a few years old. It came out, they started producing them, selling them in 2018, so it's a fairly new one, but it's one of those brands that if it was out 15, 20 years ago, it probably would have been like my favorite brand, because I feel like I can identify with them so much. I love blues. I feel like this is what they were drinking in Cadillac Records. I love Memphis. I've been there a few times. I've never been to some of these other little small cities and towns that's producing whiskey and bourbons, but I have been to Memphis. Like, I've never been to Lynchburg. I've never been to half the towns in Kentucky, and I used to live in Kentucky, and I ain't even been on that side. I was more western. So I feel like I can identify with them. So as of now, I love the Jip joint. I want to see how the Crossroads is. So we just gonna jump right into it. It's not too much of a backstory on them. They're always throwing in that they winning awards and stuff. So I kind of take that with a grain of salt. You got so many bourbons and whiskeys and festivals that they go to. It's kind of like field day when you're back in middle school. Everybody get a participation trophy. So that's kind of like how I feel when it comes to the gold awards or whatever they hand out. And it's also sourced. Anytime you got a source bourbon, it's always 50-50 if you gonna like it or not. So this one was actually made in Kentucky, and then they stored it in their warehouse in Memphis. So we'll see. So it's definitely some straight American bourbon. So let's see if it's good. And the distillery in Kentucky is they use on this one is the Green River Distillery. No relations to Gary Ridgway out there in Washington. No, I'm just kidding. That's a little true crime pun. But let's see if it's good. This one I believe is 100 proof. It's finished with the toasted French oak barrel. Every time I see this, I kind of light up when I see that, the toasted French oak, because it's always gonna have like a little dessert or a little breakfast smell to it. And sure enough, it does. It smells like you can just put a little bit on your pancakes and be ready to go. Now that's some smooth bourbon. That is some smooth bourbon. It's like Tennessee whiskey mixed with bourbon. It's kind of like if you put it's like if you wanted like your idea of bourbon and Tennessee whiskey all in one. Like you put a little put half a shot of Buffalo Trace and a half a shot of, let's say, Travelers, and kind of mixed it around, you'll probably get something like this. But as far as bourbons, I'll put this in the same category as your. It's up there with your Knob Creeks. It's better than Jim Beam, so it's right there in that tier. It's kind of in the middle. It's not your regular Jim Beam, but it's kind of going toe for toe with the Knob Creek. Let's say I'm not gonna say I don't know about the 9, but it's up there with maybe. So it's up there. So it's not bad, especially coming in around $40-$45. The Juke Joint whiskey, I believe that was about $35. Had to try that first because that was their entry level. So this is kind of like their second tier, and they did not disappoint me. I highly recommend it, and it's also a great way if you want to get in bourbon. This is definitely one that I would recommend because it's very smooth. If you want to start off just doing shots, it ain't gonna kill your throat. If you're going to a housewarming party or you're going somewhere where you're bringing a bottle, if you want to bring some whiskey or bourbon, I would recommend this one. And it's a great conversation starter. You can talk about the blues. You can talk about B.B. King, Muddy Waters, Lil Walter. You can do it all. When I had the Juke Joint whiskey, me and my wife was around 2020. We sat at this same table. We listened to music, basically the whole Cadillac Records soundtrack. Etta James, we probably played her for about 3 hours, and we just enjoyed it. And I was sipping good, and that's probably one reason why I kept the bottle, just for the memories. So this is definitely, as of now, in my top 5 brands of whiskeys, bourbons. They got a 17 that I want to try. Hopefully, if I really like it, that'll be like one of my first unicorn bottles. One of those ones that I can say that I had it, I love it, and I'm a keep. So the journey is just getting started. But right now, we at the crossroads. No, I'm just kidding, man. But hey, this is my pick of the week. We're gonna do it all again next week. If you see this, don't hesitate, grab it. Even if you like to put Coke, ginger ale, Sprite, if you put a little splash in there, you would definitely love it. I wish I seen it more out because I love to play pool. I love to listen to the jukebox. I love listening to blues. So if they had it, this would definitely be my choice when I went out, but they don't. But we'll see how it does. I just got to go to a few more spots, I guess. But we're gonna do it all again next week, man. Y'all have a good one.